Getty Turkish media reported on Tuesday 3 Saudi Arabian military advisors flew to Kobani, a northern town in Syria, to meet their counter-representatives of the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces (SDF). The U.S.-supported militia is mainly comprised of the Kurdish YPG, but it also includes Arab fighters. It emerged the Saudi advisors held the meeting with the hope of creating a new union of Arab groups able to permanently defeat ISIS. The Turkish report claimed Saudi Arabian authorities put up checkpoints in the northern Syrian towns of Al-Asaka and Al-Qamishli seeking to recruit Arab fighters. According to the report, all the new recruits would be paid $200 upon joining. The Wall Street Journal revealed last month President Donald Trump wanted to gather troops from Arab nations in order to boost the U.S.-supported militia in Syria. Saudi Arabian Foreign Minister Adel al-Jubeir said the kingdom was in discussions with the U.S. and have been since the beginning of the Syrian crisis about sending forces into Syria. Saudi Arabia is not known for deploying forces in the war-torn country. However, it joined Western nations and Turkey in supporting efforts to overthrow Syrian President Bashar Assad in 2011. An investigation into the origins of ISIS weaponry in Syria and Iraq has found weapons supplied by the U.S. and Saudi Arabia to the Syrian opposition in 2011 often ended up in the jihadis' hands. In 2014, the U.S. announced it was forming a coalition of nations to defeat the nascent extremist group that had taken over vast swaths of Iraq and Syria. It withdrew assistance to Syrian opposition groups and started supporting the Syrian Democratic Forces in 2015. Syrian opposition groups, which are backed by Saudi Arabia, have suffered a number of defeats by the Syrian military, which is supported by Russia and Iran. Other rebel groups have aligned with Turkey, which is also opposed to President Assad but has instead prioritized fighting against Kurdish groups such as the YPG. Turkey considers them terrorist organizations, but the U.S. support for the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces has aggravated the relationship between Ankara and Washington. Saudi Arabia's move to bolster the Syrian Democratic Forces could then further strain its ties with Turkey, which have already been tested by Ankara's decision to work with Iran and Qatar. Getty. On the other hand, the U.S. has boosted its relationship with Saudi Arabia over their mutual rival Iran, in particular after President Donald Trump decided to withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal. Iran has expanded its foothold in Syria due to the rapid increase of Shiite Muslim militias fighting on behalf of Assad, who considers the presence of both Russian and Iranian forces to be legitimate. President Assad blames Turkey invaders, the U.S. and Saudi Arabia for stirring up the civil war in Syria, which is now in its 7th year.